Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Nicole Russo. Welcome to Spa Babies. We're checking out the first race at Saratoga on Friday. Not only does it kick off the card, but also the early pick five. New York bred 2-year-olds going 5.5 furlongs. It's a maiden special weight. As we take a look at this field of 8 fillies, it's a pretty evenly matched group, and it's kind of a puzzler because you've got 7 first-time starters, and the one Run for Your Honey, well, she's raced once, but that was on turf.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what she does moving turf to dirt because I think her pedigree is more geared toward dirt. On the flip side, a lot of the first time starters in this race have pedigrees that say turf and distance to me. So I think there are a lot of horses that we're going to circle and watch for down the road. And these New York bred races are really fun looking down the road. It's become such a good program. Last year at about this time, we were talking about Maple Leaf Mel, who of course is now an unbeaten multiple graded stakes winner. A few years ago, about this time, we were talking about Tis the Law and a New York bred maiden. And of course, he went on to a very accomplished multiple grade one winning career. So these New York bred races are really a lot of fun.
2 tips for handicappers looking to play this race. A, watch the board. If you're looking for a horse that takes an inordinate amount of money, the word might be out, and you certainly might want to use that horse in the multiple race wagers. Also, check out Mike Welsh's excellent clocker report at DRF.com. He'll give you the skinny on how these first-time starters are traveling in the morning. But let's start things off with the horse with the most experience in the race, and that's One Start, the number 1, Run for Your Honey. We saw Run for Your Honey sell as a weanling, bought back twice, once as a yearling, once back in March. But as Nicole mentioned, this horse has a dirt pedigree. The dam won 3 dirt races. The dam is a half to Tip Tap Tapizar, who is a juvenile stakes winning dirt miler.
Yeah, and you mentioned those sale prices. Even though those aren't huge prices, I like it when a horse keeps selling up at each stage of their development. It shows that they just sort of kept developing physically. And speaking of developing, this is the only horse in here with prior racing experience, as we've mentioned. Another next out winner has already come out of that race. And I like that she's got that experience since she has drawn the rail here.
She also took money for her debut, getting blinkers for the first time. They help her focus better as she must break, as Nicole mentioned, from that sometimes intimidating inside post position. The number 2 is Concerti, one of 2 first-time starters in the race by Mendelssohn, who wins 11% with his 2-year-old first-time starters. Concerti sold as a weanling for $67,000, then bought back twice as a yearling. The dam was a route winner on dirt. There is some European turf pedigree in this family. Joe Sharp, however, does a really good job with his horses.
He does. And, I think this is a beautiful pedigree with the well bred and versatile Mendelssohn over a Bernardini mare. I'm going to circle this one when she gets to go longer for Joe Sharp, and particularly perhaps when she gets to try the turf going a bit longer.
Nicole mentioned that she likes to see horses that continue to sell up. Here's the 3, Astoria Park. Dylan Davis will take the mount. $4,500 short yearling, bought back for $27,000 as a yearling, sold for $37,000 in April. But as you see, there's a lot of turf on the bottom of this pedigree. Destine has not exactly been lighting it up with his first-time starters. He wanted to go long as well.
Yeah, absolutely. A marathon type winner. This is another one who I'm definitely going to look for going longer. And when she gets a chance on the turf, which there will be more and more opportunities to do later in this Saratoga meet. Amira Chikakli, a really good horsewoman, often gives them a start or two to develop. She does allow her horses to race themselves into fitness too.
Let's talk about the number 4, Book of Wisdom, by a first crop sire in New York right now. And Solomini has gotten off to a pretty nice start. What do we need to know about him?
Yeah, this is the first crop for Solomini, who stands just outside of town at McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, and they're hoping he can be a breakout success in the state. He had some 2-year-old form himself, so certainly wouldn't be surprised to see his horses running this year. He's by Curlin, who is really breaking out as a sire of sires, with his sons siring the past 2 winners of the Kentucky Derby. And Solimini is from the female family of useful sires like Midshipman and Frosted. So a lot to like about him, I think, as a new New York sire.
And Book of Wisdom is out of a Tappet mare that's been productive. She has foaled Reveneer, a juvenile stakes place dirt router, and her dam was a grade 2 stakes winning dirt sprinter. She goes out for the great Bill Mott. And we have a formulator fact for Mott, who sometimes gets a bad rap for first-time starters. They say Bill doesn't win with them. Well, here's the formulator fact. Past 5 years, 2-year-old first-time starters in state-bred maiden special weight dirt sprints, 38% winners and a $5.24 return on investment. Up next is the number 5, Stormy Disco. This one's by Disco Partner. He was a really cool turf sprinter in New York. How do you think he's going to fare at stud, Nicole?
Well, I think it's gonna be a little while before we see, because he didn't breed as many mares as some other new stallions on the year, and a lot of them are in breed to race programs that are going to take their time with them. So I think it'll take him a little while to prove out, but luckily I think the connections will be patient with him. Disco Partner, as you mentioned, was a brilliant turf sprinter for the Generazio program, and that's what I'm really looking forward to seeing his offspring doing, and seeing if that particular talent comes through. And this one's female family also has some turf sprint ability there.
Especially the dam, who is stakes place sprinting on the turf. There's some speed in the family, but I do wonder, like you do, if maybe Stormy Disco's future lies on the lawn. The number 6 is Awesome Czech, and this filly looks very well prepared. 9 workouts on the tab. Another one by Mendelssohn. The dam was quick. Debut winner at 2. Family of Cara Raffaella, the dam of Bernardini, I believe, and a pretty quick gate breeze on July the 7th. It looks like she should be fit for these. Manny Franco takes them out.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned earlier, make sure to pick up those clocker reports from our colleague Mike Walsh and his team. It's not just necessarily that they worked fast, it's how they did it. And I'm going to be really curious to see how he feels about that most recent work from Awesome Czech. Just a beautiful pedigree, as you mentioned. A lot of classy 2-year-old ability in the family. And Mendelssohn, of course, a good 2-year-old himself, winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. And he's a half brother, of course, to leading sire Into Mischief, a grade 1 winner at 2, and a half to the great mare Beholder, also a grade 1 winner at 2.
The number 7 is She Takes Cash, and she attracts Joel Rosario to ride. A $40,000 yearling by a very precocious stallion. Street Boss wins 16% with juvenile debut runners. The dam won 5 turf races, but I think there's enough versatility and speed in this pedigree that if we see this one take a little bit of money for trainer Orlando Noda, you might want to be interested.
Absolutely. And Street Boss, very versatile. They run on dirt, they run on turf. I could see this one going either way, as you mentioned, with the versatility in the female family as well that you see there. And Street Boss, just an incredibly underrated stallion, especially with his 2-year-olds. I think that, he just throws athletes and he throws solid physicals. So I'd be really interested to see this horse in the paddock.
Javier Castellano takes the mount on the number 8. That's Poseidon's Mist, a homebred daughter of Poseidon's Warrior, not doing very well with juvenile debut runners, clicking at only 6%. But there's enough speed on the bottom of this pedigree that makes me think, with an alert break from the outside post, she can get right into this race.
Yeah, as you said, some balance in the pedigree there. Another one who shows some decent workouts. And Javier Castellano, we mentioned the other day, just riding as well as he ever has. I think hopefully he can get this filly away from the gate in good order from that outside post.
And Poseidon's Mist goes out for a trainer that can win first time out. Monmouth-based Carlos David ships up the New York-bred Poseidon's Mist. Over the past 3 years, with juvenile debut runners in maiden special weight dirt sprints, 35% winners and almost a $3 return on investment. Top pick time for the opener at Saratoga on Friday. We're in agreement. Book of Wisdom. I'm a big fan of these Soliminis, and they've only run a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got all the tools to be a very good young stallion for the New York program. And as we, kind of went over, certainly every license to throw some horses with some precocity, some speed in the female family for this one as well. And as you went over with that formulator fact, Bill Mott really is these horses well prepared for these races.
Nicole's going 4, 6, 8, and 7. I'll take Book of Wisdom, the 4 as well. And I'm going to use the 1, Run for Your Honey, simply because she's got that experience edge over the rest of the field. I like this little blinkers on move for Michael Maker. And again, I think that this one has some dirt in her pedigree. It should be a fun race to kick off the Friday card and the early pick 5. It's our Spa Baby race. Good luck.